You do the shake and vac to put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. When your carpet smells fresh, your room does too. Every time you vacuum, remember what to do. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Well, that rather unorthodox introduction to this unboxing is because this is the vacuum cleaner made famous by the very iconic Shake and Vac TV commercial that started in the 70s and ran for at least 10 years. So, it's a Hoover Ranger Senior, finished in that most 70s colour of avocado green. Once we can get it open, we'll have a look. Oh dear. I used to have one of these, obviously, in my pre-Cull collection days. And I've always wanted another. I do have a couple of Senior Rangers. Quite a modern Co-op exclusive and a sort of yellowy coloured one. I always wanted the green one though, because the green one is the one that's synonymous with the first Shake and Vac TV commercial. First of all, we got some lovely vintage Hoover bags from Currys Limited at 64 pence. Look at those, folks. Genuine Hoover spare part to fit all these lovely, lovely Hoovers. Just a single layered paper bag. So that's nice, isn't it? Ooh, we've got, so I didn't see this pictured in the eBay listing. Well, I did see the instruction book, which is in here. We'll have a look at that in a minute. There's a nice spare belt. Is it genuine? I don't think it is. I mean, it's probably a better quality belt than the non-genuine ones you can get now. This is a nice little extra. A Hoover bag with a crevice tool inside it. I think this does have the hose, but not much else. So there we go. And here, it's another reason why I was keen on getting this particular example, because it comes with the lovely instruction book. This is model U4014. So there you go. This is how it came out of the box in those bits, and this is probably how it'll be when I unbox it, showing the tools and everything. The quick release top cord hook, changing the brushes, etc. Replacing the headlight bulb. I expect the headlight bulb in this won't be working. So this is Hoover Make Things Better For You. Definitely from the 70s, this vacuum cleaner. We have some more bags, but unfortunately they're not genuine. And even more bags. Crikey, there's a lot of bags. Not genuine, obviously. They fit some Goblin and Hot Point models as well. Lots and lots of bags. We do have some genuine sealed packet Hoover H1 bags for all these famous Hoover models, including the Sprite. So this is the latest packet of bags we've got in this box. Now inside here we should have the handles. Now the seller didn't mention the broken bottom cord hook. Said it was in very good condition, or exceptional condition, I think the seller said, and the seller had owned it from new. But I did spy with my little eye that, which is fairly common to find a broken lower cord hook. I still went for the cleaner despite that, but that did put me off a bit. But I was aware of it, so I'm not going to cry over a broken lower cord hook. I'll cry over a broken hood, but we'll see. And here again is that lovely, lovely green colour with the top hook, which is intact, that turns down, a deluxe feature for the senior. I think the Dirt Searcher Junior and some of the exclusive juniors had that, but most of the juniors didn't. Bit of a different shaped handle, and I think pretty unique to the Ranger, that style of handle there. And of course you've got the bag spring doobry that you attach the outer bag to. So there's that. Here we have Hoover's double stretch hose. That's intact, I'm glad to see, and a little bit of a dent. And it's dirty, as they always are, but they always normally come up very well. And that is your converter. Unlike the later version, the Power Plus, which had a pan converter that fitted over the agitator, this one fits in at the back of the cleaner. But it's in pretty good condition. Shame there's no other tools, but I can make up a complete tool set, I'm sure, with all the spare Hoover tools I have. Here is the bag. Nice to see the lettering is intact. The zip looks okay. This is a plasticized bag rather than cloth. The seller has fitted a nice new bag. Well, not genuine, but you know. And for some reason, 2 bands. One could be a spare belt, I suppose, because I think that's all these were. A Hoover Junior belt. So it's a top fill, which is good, isn't it? Top fill, which was a bit of a boon and a bit of a feature that Hoover advertised. Top fill bags, which were far easier to take out without spilling all the dirt everywhere. I expect the cable is original, and we've got a lovely, one of the best plugs in my opinion from this era, an MK safety plug with the insulated live and neutral pin and MK's special cord grip. So the more you pull on the cord, the tighter it becomes. So that was the plug of choice if you wanted a decent plug. Probably a little bit more costly than a standard plug, but well worth the expense in my opinion. Well, I see no broken parts, which is good. That's a good sign. And there we are. She's not in bad condition. She is not in bad condition at all. No deep scratches on that side. And let's have a look at this side. And no deep scratches that side. And the lens doesn't seem to have yellowed. That's still pretty white. And the Hoover roundel is in pretty good condition. Yeah. Oh, does that work? Oh yes, they work. Yes, so it looks promising, folks. Let's assemble the cleaner and turn her on. Well, here she is, fully assembled, and I'm pretty pleased with it. It's pre-refurb, but I don't think it's going to need a lot, do you? I think it's going to need a new headlight bulb, which if I've got one handy, I'll pop one in before the end of the video. And apart from the lower cord hook, that seems to be, so far, the only thing I can see wrong with this. Such a lovely vacuum. Really pleased to have one of these again. Fairly common, not as common as a Junior, but becoming a little less common. There was quite a few folk after this on eBay. I was fortunate enough to win it. I can't remember how much the winning bid was. It was certainly less than 100. I think it might have been 70 something. I don't know. But I thought it was worth paying despite the lower cord hook being broken. It still functions though. It still works as a lower cord hook. I think it was the combination. It looked in pretty good condition, and the fact it had the instruction book. And sometimes instruction books on their own, especially from this era, you know, you might find them £15 to £20 on eBay. I've bought a couple of older instruction books for sort of pre-war Hoovers, and I've paid around £10 to £15 for them plus postage, and some of them are in excellent condition and they're worth having. Even though in many cases I don't actually have the cleaners, I still like to have the instruction book. And to have the instruction book for a collector's item does, I don't know if it increases the value much. It certainly made me want to bid on it, but it increases the sort of historical value, the interest to have the original instruction book. Okay, well, let's clear the decks. We'll see how the hose fits and everything a bit later on in the video. First things first though, let's have a look if the underside of this Senior is as good as the top half. And yes, I would say it is. We've got very good brushes. I expect they've been replaced during the lifetime of this cleaner, but the agitator itself is in lovely condition. The base plate still lovely as well. All the wheels are intact. It has a micro switch just up here. You can hear that. Now that boosts the motor wattage to 600 watts, I believe, when you attach the cleaning tools. I think it's at 400 watts normally. The serial number sticker has been somewhat obscured by the axle of the rear wheels, but we'll zoom in on that, and some of you will be kind enough to date this for me. Let's just open up the base plate. On this model you don't need tools. On the very latest Co-op exclusive model I've got, I'm not sure if you've seen that video yet, you have to undo 4 or 5 screws. I think it's 4 screws, but with this one you can get to the belt with no tools needed. I think, oh hang on, there we go, yes. Lovely condition. Look at that, folks. I don't think this has been refurbished. From what I could gather, this belonged to the seller from new, and they've clearly looked after it. Probably hasn't been used for a while, I would say, but that, I haven't turned it on yet, but that sounds, feels smooth. The belt is in good condition, so we should be okay to leave that on. What I'm going to do though, I will open it up, take the hood off, and I'll show you the origins of this resiled Hoover Senior, because it's quite interesting. Now, being in the earlier version, it's got a metal casting. This is all metal. The later ones from the Power Plus and the exclusive Co-op one I've got, this is all plastic, but this, we've still got the metal at the base. I think it's just, as far as I can remember, 2 screws. Well, I've got my screwdriver handy, so we'll strike while the iron's hot, shall we, folks? And undo the 2 screws, and we'll flip the cleaner over and we'll check the condition of the headlamp bulb. I'd be surprised if the bulb is intact. I think in a lot of cases, once the bulb blew, people didn't bother replacing them. Perhaps some people did, but I would think I've seen that many with non-functioning headlamps that it does make me think people didn't bother. So there are 2 screws there, look. I'll pop the base plate back on, because we can leave that back on while we turn the machine over. Just make sure it's located at the front properly. Now, oops, a daisy. There we are. That's it. There we are. Now the hood should lift off. Let's hope we don't find anything untoward. Oh, well, I'm going to replace that. You can see here it does have a bulb in, and this is an SBC style bulb, which stands for small bayonet cap. So that's the sort of bulb you need, but that's a candle. Well, it's blown anyway, it's blown. So I'm going to put in a smaller one, a pygmy bulb. That's a candle bulb. I have tried LED bulbs. I tried an LED bulb in my Co-op exclusive and it just flickered all the time. So in the end I had to go back to the old traditional tungsten filament, which I do have a nice supply of. Some eBay seller was selling them in packs of 10, I think. They're Thorn EMI ones. So I'm going to nip upstairs and fit a new headlamp. Okay, I've got another bulb. It's not the one I remembered. I do have some Thorn EMI, but these are Eveready ones, but they're still sort of vintage. 15 watt, warm white, pygmy bulbs. I think they still work. Oh no, in fact, wow, this is not a vintage Eveready bulb. It's a new one because it's got an energy label on. Well, I must have bought those before I got the pack of 10 Thorn EMI ones. So that's the sort of bulb we're after, this small bulb. So that fits in there. Bayonet fitting, so you just push and twist. But looking at the motor, you know, I'm just going to give this a bit of a wipe. I don't think, well, we'll turn it on. I don't think it's going to need really anything doing to it. I'd rather leave it be. If it's not broke, don't fix it, as they say. We can see here the top. This is a top bearing. That's something you can replace inside here. I think there will be a bearing on the other side as well. Here's the dreaded suppressor. Look, this thing here. Now, I will at some stage get rid of that, but it looks okay. No signs of it about to blow, but you can never tell. Let me just have a look. Seems fine. Here's the on-off switch, which obviously gets pressed by the plastic switch on the hood, built into the hood. But here is where this machine is showing its heritage, or should I say its origins, because basically this is the base for the Hoover Senior that preceded this. You can see even here where the Hoover Roundel would have been. So this is just bare metal. This would have been obviously spray painted in the factory, and the rubber bumper would have been fitted directly to it. But in order to keep the machine relevant for the 70s, instead of spending money designing a new vacuum, Hoover just got the designers to make this, basically. And oops, so they made some other changes, obviously with the handle grip and the bag, just to modernise the machine. So this is the one-piece hood, and you can see just there, look, the on-off switch, and it's got the furniture guard built in. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, I think the turbo power cleaners were basically the first completely new designed vacuum Hoover produced, because everything else was really based either on the Hoover Senior or Junior cleaners, and they kept those designs for years and years and updated them slightly, but underneath, bare bones, apart from making them cheaper and using more plastic, they were the same designs, and they sold in their millions. But yes, it wasn't until Hoover launched the turbo power, which I do believe that was the first completely new redesigned vacuum for the 80s, because by then Hoover were getting a little bit staid, you know. When competition was coming out, you know, from Electrolux and other makes that looked a lot more modern and sleek, Hoover were, you know, falling behind. So the turbo power helped bring Hoover back to the fore, certainly in upright cleaning. Okay, all looks fine, doesn't it? We'll have a quick look at the rating sticker and then it'll be time to bring this girl back to life and switch her on, and hopefully that headlight will search out dirt in dark corners. Well, we can see the serial number still, can't we? We can't really see the model without actually taking off the back wheels. So the serial number, well, here is the model, isn't it? It's U4014 and then 801 06348. Is this 1978? I think it could be. Made by Hoover Limited, Great Britain. Just before I turn the cleaner over, I can show you where the tools fit. It might be easier to see how they connect up with the machine in this position. Obviously you wouldn't have it in this position when you were connecting the hose. So basically you just slide it in here, look. That's it. Right, there we go, that's all you do. And now we've got this piece here, this metal piece. Now that the purpose of that is to raise the front of the cleaner head up so it's not brushing the carpet when you're using the hose. Also what happens, apart from of course we've got the little micro switch in here that boosts the suction to 600 watts as opposed to 400. There's also a flap. Now that'll be easier to show you. Possibly easier to show you if I take the base plate off. Probably would work with the base plate off. With the tools. Oops-a-daisy. There. Now, can you see, folks? Without me moving the camera, I'll stick my finger there, look. There's a little spring-loaded flap that opens up, and obviously that diverts the suction from the front of the cleaner head to the back where the hose is. So if we insert the hose again, you might just be able to see just there as I push the hose in. Whoops. What's happened, you can't see because you've got this metal piece, but basically it's obviously covered the fan. The belt does still rotate on this. It's not like the Junior where the belt was lifted off. But obviously you would do that with the machine in the upright position. So we'll pop the base plate back on, turn the machine over, and we'll just see how easy it is actually while we're on the tools. So basically you could tilt the machine, slot it in. Not so easy with it. There we go. So that's how you convert the Senior for above floor cleaning, and it will sort of pull along, and yes, the front of the nozzle is it's high enough off the floor so it's not constantly brushing. You could use this cleaner for blowing with the full toolkit. I believe you got an adapter that fits. I'm not sure if actually yeah, I could be wrong. I think it was the earlier Seniors, maybe because this has got the top fill bag, it doesn't have that blowing adapter, but the earlier ones, and I do have a toolkit for a much earlier Senior, you could use it for blowing. There we go. So we've got the height control as well, just on the back of the cleaner, which basically adjusts the back wheels. So that's for the highest pile, shag pile, medium, low, and your much shorter pile there. So that's how you adjust. And of course on the other side you've got this vibrant orange on-off switch, which just presses that switch that I showed you just a minute ago. And of course just here we got the handle release pedal. Okay, well, we've seen everything we need to see. Let's see if she sounds as good as she looks. Well, I'm not going to take any chances. I know it looks in very good condition, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to plug it in from a distance. From a distance. I'm not sure if it's on or off. We'll soon find out. Well, hopefully it's off at the cleaner, so I'll just switch it on, so it should, fingers crossed, come to spring to life, and the headlamp hopefully won't blow, it'll be working. Well, that doesn't sound bad at all to my ears. Let's give it a go, shall we? Well folks, that's what a vacuum cleaner should sound like, or at least a vacuum cleaner from my childhood. That low purr, the rumble of the beta bars beating the living daylights out of your carpet, beating up all that dirt and grit, and those brushes sweeping away pet hair and surface litter. You can really tell when you've hoovered. Classic cleaners. Absolutely love them. I love the Hoovers. I don't love Hoover now. It's a sorry state of affairs, but you can't just say it's just Hoover, because most manufacturers have gone down the pan compared to the olden days, you know. Let's listen to the change of tone in the motor, if it works, when we can connect the tools. I won't push it right in yet. I can just hear. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do it. I was going to put it in part way, but I can't actually just put it in part way without affecting the micro switch. So now it's going to be a bit noisier, methinks. A bit more noise coming from this cleaner. Hopefully it'll still be okay. Now it should be operating at 600 watts to give us a bit more suction for the tools. Well, here we go folks, I've just thrown down a load of rolled oats and some fluorescent sand. I haven't wasted the food. Well, it is sort of wasted, but it wasn't edible. It's gone way past its use by date, so it's not being wasted, I suppose, because it's being the demo dirt for this quick demonstration of this classic old vacuum. Right, let's see. I've got this the Ranger Senior on quite a high setting. I find that it needs it because of the suction. It pulls the carpet up to it, and if I don't have it quite high, it just stalls the brush. Right, okay, let's have a go. We'll do the old-fashioned way, forward and back through the middle, and we'll evaluate the results, and I think we'll be seeing a line of shame again. Yes, look, we have a line of shame down the middle, of course, where the belt is on this cleaner. But you know, there was a lot of agitation, which you do get with these old classic Hoovers. You get a lot of agitation thanks to those beta bars. So we'll do some more shots, because I like to see them, and I hope you like to see the close-up shots of the dirt bouncing about before it's magically whisked away into the bag of this lovely vacuum. Well, there you go, folks. The end of another video. She's done a lot of work and she's only slightly warm. I must say, it's rather self-indulgent, but this sort of video I really enjoy doing. Any vacuum cleaner from what I would consider a classic period of time. This is the 70s this machine's from. I really enjoy doing them. Of course, I like vacuum cleaners, all vacuum cleaners. I like to try new and old vacuum cleaners, all types of vacuum cleaners. Bagless, bagged, cordless, corded, robotic, you name it. If it says vacuum, I'm really interested. But there's just something about these old girls, the old Hoovers from the 70s and 80s, that really float my boat. But anyway, don't worry, if you like the Chinese-made Plastivacs of today, you'll still see those on this channel as well. But it is nice, even if you've never seen one of these in your life before, it's nice to see them, I think, anyway. If you like vacuum cleaners, it's important to know about the history, the many tens of thousands of different models there must have been over the years. And Hoover, back in their heyday, were among the best manufacturers of vacuums. Sadly, no more, but we still have the heritage of the Hoover Company. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've really enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more vacuum fun. Thumbs up. And of course, any comments or questions, you're most welcome to comment below the video. Bye for now.